Now the quality of your shrimp is really going to determine the outcome of your recipe. Buy cheap, taste cheap. Jumbo tiger shrimp is what I recommend, and sometimes they're hard to find. But if you buy the jumbos, they're going to cost you between $17 and $18 a pound. So in my case, I buy jumbo, and I buy them by the piece instead of by the pound. They're about 1.3 ounces each, so you need approximately, say, 12 shrimp for 2 people. Now the first thing you need is some nice, large tiger shrimp, clean and deveined. Of course, this is going to be all about what you want to spend. And don't forget, after you peel and devein these shrimp, save the shells, put them in the freezer, because when I make soup, I like to make a nice seafood stock. You get great flavor out of these shrimp shells. I like to use a 15-ounce ceramic bowl. It's got an oval shape to it to prepare my shrimp Dijon in. I like to use Reese anchovy paste. And if you can't find Gallo cooking sherry, then use Gallo Chardonnay. So we're going to work with a meal for 2 people, taking a heaping, say a third of a cup of butter, between a third and a half. Now I use Promise because it's got half the saturated fats. I didn't say this was a healthy recipe. I only eat it once or twice a year, so it's okay to treat yourself every now and then. So when I add my heaping third of a cup of butter, I squeeze in a little anchovy paste, say maybe a quarter or a half a teaspoon, and while the butter's still warm, I mix it in with a fork so it dissolves into the butter. Now I know there's those of you out there that are going to resist using anchovy paste, but I will tell you, if you eat Italian food, you've already tasted it. This small amount will definitely transcend this recipe and set it apart from every other Dijon you've ever eaten. So now we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of wine, approximately. Oh, half a teaspoon of parsley. I don't have fresh, so I'm using dry. Salt and pepper to taste. Be careful, salt can ruin a recipe for you. And lastly, we add 4 cloves of finely chopped garlic to each serving or dish. Now we're going to add our shrimp. Now, after you cleaned and deveined your shrimp, you can rinse them off individually, and then I pad them dry on a paper towel. So now I'm going to add my shrimp, and what I like to do is I like to coat both sides of the shrimp. I might flip it over a couple times, and then I'm going to place them all in the same direction so it fits uniformly in the dish. So make sure that the curl is all the same way each time you place a shrimp in, and we'll get all of these shrimp in. Now this is how it looks once you get them all in the dish. And now we're going to add our topping. So now I'm going to mix up enough topping for both servings. And I'm going to do a 2-to-1 mix. So I'm going to do a half a cup of fine breadcrumbs to a 1/4 cup of Kraft Parmesan cheese for each serving. Now I'm going to add in a teaspoon of parsley, a teaspoon of oregano, salt and pepper to taste, and I'm going to mix it up. So I'm going to put half the breading on one serving and half on the other, and then I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to push it out towards the sides of the recipe until I get the entire thing covered. Now I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate for about an hour. So 400 degrees for 30 minutes. And after about 25 minutes, I like to take a fork and I like to poke into each individual shrimp in the dish. If they're not nice and firm when you pluck them, then they need to be cooked a little bit longer. Everyone's oven is different. Watch the topping on your dish. If it starts to get really dark brown, as you monitor it, then you need to turn the temperature down. But 400 degrees works good in my oven. It might not work good in yours. Nice and golden brown. You can serve it either in the bowl, or you could scrape it out and place it on a plate with the rest of your condiments. That looks good. Love that sound.